people, and welcome to The Simple Life. My name is El, and in today's episode of Can You Burger It, we're doing a delayed Cinco de Mayo special. So I thought we're taking a look at a Mexican burger, and I want to do something I saw on Reddit a lot the other day, which is a Crunchwrap. So instead of our bun, we're making fresh tortillas, and we're doing it kind of like a chimichanga, like a very large tortilla on the bottom, and just like a taco-sized tortilla on top. Then we fold everything together and deep fry it. And for our toppings, I'm thinking we're going a little more traditional with guacamole, crema, and some fajita veggies.
We're starting off with one of the most accessible and beginner-friendly doughs in cooking. For our flour tortillas, we're mixing together flour, salt, and baking powder, and either olive oil or lard and warm tap water. For once, I am not using a stand mixer. Although it makes life very easy, I wanted to show that you don't need any equipment for this. I'm just roughly combining my dry and wet ingredients until a very shaggy dough forms. For flour tortillas, unlike corn tortillas, we need our dough to be strong and stretchable. So in order to develop gluten, we're going to knead this for a few minutes and set aside to rest for at least 30 minutes in the fridge. In the meantime, we're tackling our accoutrements. Starting off by displaying our juggling skills with an avocado until splitting, deep hitting, cross slicing and scooping into a bowl. To which we're adding finely chopped red onion and garlic, a squeezed lime and seasoning with salt and pepper. And a few chopped chilies if you're feeling brave. With the help of a potato masher, we're mashing this into a guacamole. Give both the guacamole and the potato masher a good taste. Pretty good. Nice and spicy, I like it. For our veggies, we're going with fajita classics, red onion and green bell peppers. Fajita just refers to cut into strips, so there we go. I want to slowly caramelize this on medium heat for about 20 minutes. That way, the sugars break down and the water evaporates, leaving us with intensely flavored veggies. For refried beans, you just want to take a can of black beans and chili sauce, reduce the liquid to about half and roughly crush them up, anywhere from hardly crushed up to bean paste. I want to take a second and talk about crema. Crema is something very overlooked in many adaptations of Mexican cuisine. Crema falls somewhere in between American sour cream and French crème fraîche. It's very bright and acidic and a little more runny than its American counterpart. If it's not sold in your supermarkets, you can make something similar by mixing crème fraîche with a few splashes of buttermilk and some lemon or lime. A dollop of this will balance any heavy, fatty or hot dish and greatly improve the final product. About an hour later, our tortilla dough has firmed up and all the flour is fully hydrated. You want to flour your work surface and find a size to work with. For taco-sized tortillas, go a little smaller than a golf ball. And larger tortillas for burritos, you're aiming for about the size of a tennis ball. With a lightly dusted rolling pin, I'm carefully rolling out our tortillas. You want to go as thin as possible. You can see how the dough springs back every time I'm rolling it. Just let that sit for a minute and let the gluten relax, then you can roll it out again. We want to fry our tortillas in a ripping hot cast iron pan. Let me just demonstrate the ripping hotness of my pan. And just cook them for 20 to 30 seconds on each side. You will see some light bubblage, that's from the baking powder. They will come out with a light crisp and a little stiff. It always makes sense to cook tortillas in larger batches, as you want to let them steam each other, covered in a kitchen towel. This is easily the most important step when it comes to making tortillas. You cannot skip this. For our patties, we're forming two balls out of our ground meat, seasoning generously with salt and pepper, and for which we're cutting out two parchment paper squares. Returning to our still ripping hot pan, we're adding our meatballs, placing the parchment paper over them, and smashing down with any heavy, flat-bottomed object. Flip once our beef is beautifully browned and releases effortlessly, and slap a slice of sharp cheddar on top. Now we want to fill our pan about halfway up with frying oil and let that preheat while we assemble our burger. Starting off with a 3-to-1 slurry of water and flour, which will serve as a glue for the crunch wrap part of this burger. After figuring out who is the fairest of our tortillas, we start off by layering some sriracha mayo on the bottom, followed by our burgers and refried beans. Realizing that this is already way too big to ever seal properly, I'm ditching a piece of meat here and continue with layers of crema, veggies and cheese. F's in the comment section are appreciated. And let me just tinker around with this thing, as the slightest opening in here would mean immediate death, or really just that everything would burst out in the fryer and it will be one soggy, greasy mess. So let's just drop this into the fryer and pray. Once we're about golden brown on the bottom, it's time to flip, like 2 or 3 minutes in 180 Celsius oil on each side. And there we have it, our chimichanga, Crunchwrap, whatever burger. I'm actually pretty excited about this, so excited in fact that I forgot our guacamole filling. I suppose it looks prettier as a topping anyway, and so with some color contrast with a chili, right? Let's see the all-important cross-section. I'm not sure what I expected, it's a deep-fried burger after all. I actually made a chimichanga slash burrito with the leftovers, and yeah, that looks a lot more appealing. Nevertheless, we cannot skip a quick Instagram shoot until I'm finally digging in. And let me tell you, I didn't expect a whole lot of this, but I just realized that I never had a proper, good, authentic chimichanga. And this is my first experience with such a deep-fried Tex-Mex abomination. And it's great. It's truly one of the most delicious things I've ever made. It's a rich, creamy, zesty, zingy, spicy, earthy and crunchy piece of heaven. It was so good, in fact, I finished it on the spot. So good, I went in for instant seconds with the leftover chimichanga, and so good, I went right in and made another one right after this. And that concludes the 4th episode of Can You Burger It? Let me know, would you consider this a burger, or am I really just stretching a definition I never put up in the first place? What would you like to see on the show next?
You've made it to the end of the video. What an achievement. I know, right? You can check my latest video out right up here. And a little secret, just between you and me, that one right here, hand selected just for you. I assure you, great humor, insane production value, you're gonna have a blast. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next video.